Right, hello in F2 for the Mexican Grand Prix, round 16, as we are closing to the end of the season 3 in this league. And yes, we will maybe see a new world champion soon in Ero F2. As we are waiting for the drivers to come into the lobby, 15 of them already in the session, and we should start in a minute. It's of course 3 rounds to go. It's still Mexico, Japan and Brazil still to go, and currently in the lead of the standings, as we are talking about the drivers, is Pacevan, who is racing for Ferrari, and he points behind him is Vilzu. And these are two main contenders for the championship here. And the third one in the standings is Timbat in McLaren, but he's losing over 20 points to the top two. And so it looks like we will see a battle to the last race between both Pacevan and Vilzu. And as we are talking about the constructors, it's also close. As Ferrari with Pacevan and Champ is in the lead in front of Red Bull, Vilzu and Edzax, and that's only 8 points separating these two teams. So maybe this round will show who is better here in Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, of course. Still 15 drivers only. And as I can't see Vilzu in, but we have to wait a little bit longer. And so I can see that drivers are readying up, so only 16 drivers at the moment, and it looks like we are starting. So yes, we will be moving into Mexico. And here we are in Mexico, and it's raining here in Quali, and it's gonna affect on the driver setups. We also have to see how is the weather during the race, and we are waiting for the drivers to come out. It looks like it's not a heavy rain, it's only light rain. But let's see that tires, yes, it's intermediates for the drivers, and we've got one of the Hasses on track. It's Adi, who is not gonna be first on track, because the first man on track is gonna be Tim Mats, who is coming out on his first outlap in McLaren, of course. Long start-finish straight, of course, on this track. And two DRS zones, of course. Here is the second one, the fast sector 1, and then the technical section in sector 2, and then of course the famous stadium section in sector 3 on this track. So pretty many challenges here on this track, especially in the rain. These corners will be tricky, and so as Tim Mats is going out of these S's, number 25 on his McLaren, into the stadium section he goes. Now the hairpin, and then two more corners, and Tim Mats is now starting his first hot lap, and first man to do so, of course, one of the longest straights in the calendar, starting straight, of course. In the start of the race, the drivers behind the leader will have the slipstream, and they may overtake many drivers. If you are good in slipstream, then the chicane, turns 1 to 3, and again DRS zone into another chicane. Tim Mats a little bit deep on the brakes, but fortunately no invalidation here. Now onto this two apexes corner and down into the S's. Very important not to cut these corners, and Tim Mats unfortunately does so. And so let's switch to Adi behind him as he goes through the same S's. No invalidation through there. There was a DRS straight here in this place in the real 2019 season, but not in this game, as so Adi is now going into the stadium section. Many the big crowds out there, of course, as always in this game. Last one corner, and Adi crosses the line, and it's 128.4 for the Haas. Next one to cross the line is Libenov, who goes 6 tenths faster than Haas. Next one will be Lupus, but Lupus also, same as Tim Mats, invalidated his lap. So let's switch to Champ as he goes first, a second faster than Libenov. Next we've got Omar Spaghetti, who is currently 4th, and Pacefen, our championship leader, goes first, 1 tenth faster than his teammate. Then Gui into P4, Otapa into P6, behind Adi, his teammate. Then Granty Boy, the only Renault on the in the pack today, goes first. Meanwhile, 3 tenths faster than the Ferrari of Pacefen. Also Edzax comes into P5. Behind Libenov, and Jair into P8 in the Williams. And that's all for the first runs out here. So currently Renault in front of two Ferraris, as Champ slides through this last corner on the S's. Then we've got Libanov and Edzax, the Alpha of Gui, and Adi, Jair, Otapa and Spaghetti in Haas's and Williams's. Also Brett is currently on hot lap, but there is also invalidation for him, so there also won't be improvement him. Meanwhile Spaghetti is improving, and he jumps ahead Adi as he is now in P7. Also Champ is improving, or no, but he improved at his last lap, and so this puts him in front of his teammate. Also Edzax jumps ahead of Libanov, so that's another switch here. We will now look on Wojtinho, who is coming through the first few corners as he finishes the first sector. Of course, you can't open the DRS. And the first sector 30.464 into the technical section, and let's see if Wojtinho can handle it. Meanwhile Adi goes into P5, so nice improvement for the Haas. He's splitting Edzax and Libanov. Now as Wojtinho is going out of these S's, he's finishing the second sector. Also who has improved? Omar Spaghetti has improved. He's behind Adi. And now Wojtinho has got a few more corners to go, and let's see if he can match his teammate's pace. Can he jump ahead of Libanov? Wojtinho crosses the line now and he goes first, so the track is probably improving as drivers go faster and faster. Wojtinho currently 300 is the closest one to finish. It's probably gonna be Natik, who is on his first hot lap. Currently no time for the Alpha, but now where does this lap will put him? It puts him in P7, currently behind Edzax, and so now Lupus is next to cross the line, and he goes into P8 just behind Natik. Also Libanov spins in the last corner of this track, and let's see if he comes into the pit lane. No, so he's gonna start this lap, but he won't have any momentum, and so he's gonna have really poor straight line speed. Also Paceman finally comes into the pits. There is also Brett on another try and another outlap. So Jair is improving after two sectors by 2/10, but now he loses control on his car and unfortunately spins and loses his front wing. So no improvement for the Williams driver. 2 laps on these tires and already something like this as he spins. Teammates again invalidated his lap, and still no time for the third man in the championship standings. So currently no Houseman, of course, here, and teammates at the very back of the grid. We also have Libanov, but he is losing 3 seconds to his personal best, so he's gonna start another lap as he now crosses the line to start another hot lap. He's currently in P11 as his teammate is in P1, so he's losing 1.5 seconds to Wojtinho at the moment, so he has to improve. Is Brett ending? Yes, he is, and Brett goes into P9 just behind Lupus, his teammate. Also Loki Chips is gonna finish his lap, but it looks like it's not gonna be a top result, and only 15th, so last the worst time at the moment for the racing point. And we are also waiting for Team Mats, who is going with another try, this time no invalidation for him, and so Team Mats puts himself up into P11. So outside of top 10, behind Adi, as we are now waiting for Libanov, who is improving by 8/10, so it's at the moment around P7 for him if he won't make any mistakes here. Now 2 more corners as Libanov comes onto the start-finish straight, and he crosses the line to get himself the P6. So behind Jair, ahead of Edzax. Also Paceman is starting another lap for Ferrari. So is anyone there on hot lap? Loki Chips is improving by 2 seconds, so let's see if he can improve his position, and he crosses the line to get P8. So he is in top 10 at the moment. Nice result for him. Natik also starts another hot lap. We've got also Edzax finishing the lap, but no improvement here. Maybe he's gonna go with another try. Also Timat comes into the pits. Granty Boy is gonna look for improvement. He's losing only 0.03 of a second to Wojtinho. So maybe we will see a fight for pole position here. It's still 5 minutes to go in this session. Oh, Spaghetti spun and he has no front wing, so probably a mistake on in the S's. Too much curb probably. Let's follow Granty Boy maybe, as I don't see if he's improving after first sector. I'm gonna check comments. Wojtinho for the win, but at the moment actually Pacefan beats the Toro Rosso driver for pole position, so 1/10 ahead of Toro Rosso, and we are still waiting for Granty Boy as he is improving by 1/10 of a second, but he probably invalidated his lap because he's going really slow, so he's gonna try with another lap as Natik goes into P1, another lead change here. And another 10th faster than the previous pole sitter. So Granty Boy is gonna start another lap, and we will follow him through the start-finish straight. Into the chicane he goes. Good braking, and through the chicane no invalidation, at least I can't see this. And so now into the second chicane, 0.162 of improvement after the first sector for the only Renault here on the grid. We've got one Renault, one McLaren, one Racing Point, and who is missing, and one Red Bull on the grid. Of course, Virzu isn't here, so Paceman has got a chance of increase his championship lead, as Grunty Boy doesn't improve after 2 sectors, but maybe the third one will be the one which will give him an improvement. No, he comes into the pits, so he's gonna try one more time. He has got 2.5 minutes still to go in this session, so he's probably gonna make it if, of course, if he has got one more set of fresh intermediates. But it looks like it's not raining that much, so we may see some improvement still. And so everyone are coming out on their hot laps. Whoa, very nice slide for Brett out of these S's, and a second of improvement for him. But is he gonna invalidate his lap here? I don't know, because he ran a little bit wide. And so now he comes last one corner. Here was where Valtteri Bottas made a mistake during the 2019 quali. So Brett goes into P6 behind Champ, 126.520. And so next to cross the line will be Gui with but he comes into the pits, so no improvement for this Alpha, so he will stay in P13. Team Mats, can he improve? No. Okay. Yes, so Lupus also starts his lap, same as Voitinho. Who's the closest one? Are the Ferraris on hot laps? Champ is on a hot lap, probably. As he goes around the final corner. And Champ goes into P1. 1/10 faster again than Natik. But we are still waiting for an answer from both Natik, Paceman and Voitinho and Grunty Boy, of course. But I don't think that he's gonna improve. Natik on outlap, 20 seconds before the end of quali. And there is also Williams of Omar Spaghetti going close to the finish, but no improvement for him. He stays in P15. Same as Brett stays in P6. Adi also retires from the session. We are waiting for Team Mats, but he isn't improving. So let's switch to Edzax, who also isn't improving. So there is also one of the Mercedes, it's Lupus. He's improving by 6 tenths, but he's coming into the pits. Voitinho, can he do it? Yes, he can! Yes, he can. 125.991 for Voitinho. And can he maintain his pole position here? There is still Champ, Natik, Paceman and Grunty Boy going. First to cross the line will be Champ. Can he steal the pole position from Voitinho? Yes, he can. So Voitinho currently in P2. We are waiting for Paceman, who goes fastest, just ahead of his teammate. And so it's still Natik and Grunty Boy. Can they match the pace of the Ferraris? Or is it gonna be the Ferrari 1-2 in quali? But Voitinho, still a very nice result for him. Loki Chips also goes into P5, but we are still waiting for Natik. Can he put himself up in the front row? No! P3 for Natik. So Voitinho goes down into P5, and we are still waiting for Grunty Boy, who is improving by nearly 4 tenths of a second. And so can he, where is this lap gonna put him? First. So Renault on pole position. Grunty Boy is the fastest one in the rain. Then we've got 2 Ferraris, Paceman and Champ, then Natik, then Voitinho in P5. Fantastic result for him. Then Loki Chips in Racing Point, Brett, Jair, Libanov and Edzax closing the top 10. And then outside the top 10 we've got Lupus, Adi, Gui, Timats, Omar Spaghetti and Otapa in dead last. So let's see how is the weather gonna look like in the race, because it may affect on the setups of the drivers. And so we are waiting now, because the fight for pole position was quite interesting, but Granty Boy actually 3 tenths ahead of the Paceman in the second place. So nice sun in the race and quite clear sky, so I don't think that we will see rain. But still, let's hope for a very interesting Mexican Grand Prix. It's 20 seconds to the start of the race. And as we are waiting, I can also invite you to the Own Team League race, which starts on this channel, just as this F2 race ends. So we will be racing in Own Team League after the 1 week of break, the summer break, and we are now starting the Mexican Grand Prix here in Ero in season 3. As Granty Boy, of course, on pole position in front of both Ferraris, Granty Boy on softs, Paceman on mediums, then Champ and Natic both on softs, Wojtinho and Loki Chips on mediums, Brett and Jair on softs, and then Libenov on mediums. Then Edzax, Lupus, Adi, Gui, Timats and Omar Spaghetti, everyone on softs, and Otapa in that last on mediums. So we will see how the strategy is gonna work. I think if you are going on softs, it's gonna be probably 2-stop strategy with softs, mediums, and if you are going on mediums from the start, it should be 1 stop only, but we will see how the tire degradation will look. Yeah, so now we are waiting for the drivers to come onto their start spots. And so Granty Boy is gonna lead the pack into turn 1, but both Paceman and Champ will have the slipstream behind, and so it's gonna be really stressful for the Renault driver, as he is alone. He hasn't got even a teammate in this race. And so I'm also looking forward on Wojtinho's pace, because he showed in qualifying that he's able to match the pace of both Granty Boy, Paceman, Champ and Natic, but we'll find out during the race. Now we are waiting for the red lights. We've got 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Good start for Granty Boy, but also good start for Paceman, and also even better start for Natic, who is already in P3 and he's fighting with Champ. Granty Boy looks like he is going to take the inside line into turn 1. The pack is gonna bunch up, but it's gonna be Granty Boy who leads the pack, but Champ goes around the outside on him and he's gonna now have the inside line, but Granty Boy comes out on top. Natic in 3rd, just calling Brett up into 4th, Wojtinho goes down into P8, same as Paceman is also losing places. Still there is a fight there between Racing Point and one of the Ferraris, and it's gonna be Loki Chips ahead of Paceman. Also Brett goes up into p5, and then behind we've got also Lupus trying to make a move on Wojtinho. At the back we've got Adi losing places. He's without the front wing. I mean, he made a contact with somebody and he lost some of his front wing. Also there is Gui and Otapa going wide in these S's, as now Timat is fighting with Alpha. It's free wide battle into the stadium section as Timat comes out on top in this battle, and so Otapa lost two places there. And so after first lap we've got Granty Boy ahead of Champ, ahead of Natik, ahead of Jair, and Brett up into P5. So Granty Boy, of course, the fastest lap of the race. Let's see the positions change. We've got also Jair trying to make a move on Natik up into podium position, and he does it down the inside into the chicane, and he's gonna block the Natik, so he won't take a revenge on him. And so Jair 5 positions up, very good start for him. Also Brett 2 positions up. Granty Boy maintained his lead into turn 1, very nice defending. That wasn't the best start for the Toro Rosso drivers, because both Wojtinho and Libenov lost places, but they were on. He's trying to make a move. He's on soft, so he is faster and he has to get past quickly because he's losing time. We got a 4-car battle, to be honest, for the P6. As Granty Boy, of course, with the fastest lap of the race, he has got nearly a second advantage above Champ at the moment. And so Lupus has got the slipstream behind Wojtinho, but it won't be enough to get past here into turn 1. DRS is of course enabled already. Oh, and he touched the back of Wojtinho, and so Lupus has got damage. Also Pacefan managed to get past Low-K Chips, but Low-K Chips still may overtake him and get his position back. He has got the inside line into turn 4, and so, but now it's gonna be still side by side, and it's now Pacefan who has got the inside line into this two apexes corner, and it's gonna be Pacefan who is in front. No, it's Low-K Chips. He has got the better traction on the outside. So Low-K Chips stays in P6, and so Lupus with the damage, he has to pit for the new front wing. And there is also battle at the back. Timat is trying to make a move on Libenov. Timat is also on softs, so he has to make a use of them and get past as quickly as possible, and he does it into the hairpin in the stadium section, but it's Libenov who has got the better go through the next corners. And so as they are coming onto the start near straight, and Timat will have DRS, and he's just behind Libenov, but Libenov also has got DRS behind Edzax, as Pacefan finally makes a move on Low-K Chips and he gets the 6th position, and he goes in front of the racing point. We've got also Champ really close to Granty Boy. They will be fighting for the lead here. They have same tires, both on softs, and then Jair behind them also on softs, and he's also gonna be charging them. Omar Spaghetti with a 3-second time penalty. Low-K Chips will be of course trying to regain his 6th position from Pacefan, but it looks like Pacefan has got the better grip through the S's. Libenov also with a 3-second time penalty, and so also Timat overtakes him finally after 1 lap of battle. But now Libenov makes a lunge into the hairpin, but it doesn't work, so Timat stays in P11 and he's now behind Edzax. Let's switch to Lupus. Look how Pacefan is desperately trying to break the toe from Chips, and so no moves there properly, but Libenov is gonna try to retake his position from Timat, as he has got the outside line here into turn 1. So no position gained here, but now he has got the much better exit out of this turn, but I think that no moves here. There is also Gui really close to the Toro Rosso driver, and he makes a move down the inside, but he can't quite do it. But now he's gonna make a switchback, but it's not gonna be enough to get past the Toro Rosso. And so Gui stays in P13 and he's on softs, so it's gonna hurt if he won't get past the Toro Rosso. And there's also Lupus still trying to make a move on Voitinho. But it looks like he's too far and he's now under pressure of Edzax. And we have to remember that Lupus has got damage on his front wing. And so he's gonna be losing time to the Red Bull. Let's also look at Champ, as he's really close to Granty Boy, and who is gonna have the better exit out of these turns? I don't know, but Champ is gonna have the DRS. Brett overtakes Natic as Voitinho overtakes the Racing Point, but now look at Champ trying to make a move down the inside on Granty Boy, but he can't quite do it. It looks like he is faster, but Granty Boy is still brilliant defending from his side. And so Champ has to stay behind him. There is Natic close to Brett. He lost this position, so he is gonna be furiously charging him. Champ gets a 3-second time penalty. There is also Loki Chips who got overtaken by Voitinho, so Voitinho, it looks like quite nice pace for him during this race. A very good quali, and now in the race no mistakes at the moment. But now let's see if he is gonna be able to charge Pace Fan, because he won't have DRS in this straight and he has to defend against chips. And let's see also as Champ Champ takes the lead in this race, but Granty Boy, Brett did his spun? No, but he got overtaken by Natic, and now Granty Boy is looking for retaking his lead in this race, but it looks like Champ is gonna stay in front, so we've got a lead change here, and Granty Boy loses his lead at the moment, same as Brett loses his 4th position. Also we've got a battle between still Lupus, Voitinho and Chips. No one can make a move here, and Adi comes into the pit lane probably for a wing change. He goes onto softs. As through the SS goes Lupus, and he's another time cutting this corner. So he has got probably many warnings already, and we've got a spin, it's Spaghetti. In the S's, probably some contact with maybe Otapa. Granty Boy is too far to attack Champ, but with the DRS, maybe we'll see a move on the second DRS straight. As they are now coming out on the straight, Granty Boy opens the rear wing, but he's too far. Champ is too fast. Loki Chips and Voitinho are switching positions. They are fighting for P7 as Pacefan is running away. So whoever is in front is in danger of losing this position, because everyone behind you have got DRS. We've got also a beautiful battle between Natic and Brett. They are still fighting for P4. And it's Natic again who comes out on top, as Brett can't quite get past the Alpha. Through the S's they go. Also Timat is close to Edzax as they are also going through the S's. They are both on softs. Also Lupus is close to Voitinho. He looked there on the inside, but he didn't decide to make a move. Now Voitinho goes quite deep on this corner, but Lupus didn't make a move. As Loki Chips run away, and Voitinho probably won't have DRS, so it's gonna be a chance for Lupus to finally get past the Toro Rosso. And so he's closing, he goes down the inside on Voitinho, and he has got the inside line into turn 1, and so it looks like he is in front. Yes, he is, but now Wojtyła is gonna try to better exit, but he nearly spins, too much throttle for him, and so he's gonna stay behind Lupus, so P9 for him at the moment, and he's now gonna be under pressure from Edzax, Timac and Libenov, and it's gonna be a 6-car battle for P7, I think. Yes, also we still have got battle for the lead, as Champ is currently leading Granty Boy, but they now will go on to the start-finish straight. And so, but it looks like again Granty Boy is too far. Maybe Granty Boy has got the better setup for the corners, but Champ is quicker on the straight, and so Granty Boy isn't able to attack the Ferrari. But also Edzax losing positions. What happened there? Oh, he spun on the last corner. So he was battling probably with Libenov or Timac, as Libenov gets a position on the McLaren driver. So these softs are quite not good now. And so Edzax, of course, in the pit lane. He's gonna lose quite much time, unfortunately. There is still, of course, the battle between Granty Boy and Champ, but it looks like Champ is still running away. Of course, also Adi is overtaking Spaghetti for the P15. And Granty Boy, as they are coming onto the starting straight for the 11th time, is probably too far again. Yes, it looks like Champ is getting away, and it looks like he has got the better traction on these tires. Brett in the pit lane, and he's coming onto the mediums. Also Lupus makes the same thing, but is he gonna lose time behind? Yes, he's gonna lose some time. He's also changing his front wing. Same Gui and Timac are also in the pits, and so as we will have a battle between two racing between two Toro Rossos here. As Libenov is behind Wojtyła, and it looks like he may be faster, so maybe some team orders here. But it doesn't look like Wojtyła is gonna let Libenov through. But it looks like Libenov has got the better traction through these S's, and so Libenov is gonna take the Wojtyła's position, and he's gonna try to charge the local chips in front, as Granty Boy makes an undercut on the Champ. Same thing does Jair and Natik, as Granty Boy goes into hards, so he's probably gonna try to make the stint to the end of the race. And so what is gonna Champ do? So we've got two Ferraris in the front, Ferrari 1-2 at the moment. And so Granty Boy comes out in 5th place, and he has got the DRS, of course, and he has got the clear track. So now it's all about the Champ, and when is he gonna pit. Also Wojtyła in the pit lane, so these tires were done already, and another time he fits the mediums, and its teammates right behind him. And is he gonna have the DRS? No, he hasn't. So it's gonna be even more difficult to overtake the Toro Rosso, as Jair overtakes Otapa for P6. Jair much faster through these S's, but Otapa has got, of course, 11 laps on these tires already. And so Champ is coming into the pits, and he also fits the hearts, and so it's now gonna be Paceman who takes the lead in this race. Adi retired in the S's, and we've got a VSC track, and so is Grunty Boy gonna overtake Champ? I don't. Yes, he's just managed to overtake Champ. So good job for the Renault as they undercut Champ. And so now it's Grunty Boy who is on the virtual lead, as the top 3 still has a gap to pit. We've got also Gui overtaking Otapa for P11, but they are both ghosting, or some are spaghetti in the pits. Only 4 laps on these mediums, and no front wing change, only the penalty served, and we go racing again. One third, I wanted to say, no, 1/3 of the race already gone. Estimats is still just behind Vitinho, and he's gonna try to make a move on him to take these 2 points. He has got 1 lap older tires, but now he has to go wide because Vitinho brake a little bit earlier than him. Also Lupus overtakes Otapa for P12. Libanov is close to Grunty Boy, but it's probably because Grunty Boy overtook him, and Champ lost some time to Grunty Boy. It's over 2 seconds already, so Grunty Boy is charging, and he's now trying to make him follow on low K chips, and he's trying to get away from Champ as fast as he could, as Champ is really looks like he's struggling at the moment on these tires, on these hards, as even Jair is really close to him. Jair is of course on soft, so he still has to pit, but we'll see now as they are coming into the stadium section through this start-finish straight. He opens the DRS, and it's gonna be nice and clean overtake on the racing point, and it is what it is. No fight there between these two, and Jair overtakes Champ for P5. Same does Natik for P7, overtaking Brett. And so Grunty Boy now chasing down Paceman. 2 seconds gap to the Ferrari, and his main rival in this race, Champ, is only P6, and he's losing much time to him. Also we had Lupus overtaking Gui, and he's gonna stay in this 11th position. Also Jair is now close to Libanov, as he now has to push if he wants this strategy to work. Now maybe down the inside in this hairpin, but Libanov defends well, but now on this starting straight Libanov won't have big chances of defending his position. Grunty Boy makes a fastest lap of the race, 1:17.6, but Natik beats it by 1/10, as Jair and Libanov are going side by side, and Jair has got the inside line into turn 1, and it's gonna be probably nice done for him. Yes, it is. And now he's gonna try to make a move on low K chips down into turn 4. He goes around the outside, and 2 positions gained here, but low K chips, no, he's not fighting. So Jair up into P3 at the moment, and now let's see if he is gonna be able to attack Grunty Boy, as he's gonna be faster, but for how much longer, as these softs won't last long on this track. Champ also looks like he picked up the pieces, and he's now chasing down Libanov for P5. Also we've got Timat still trying to overtake Wojtinho, but he's too far still. Libanov looks like he's struggling on these tires. Maybe it's time to pit for hards. Yes, it is. And so Libanov comes into the pit lane. And we've got also Natik really close to Champ. And I think that he's gaining. Yes, he's definitely gaining. And who is gonna have the better exit out of turn 3? Because they both will have DRS. Natik needs a good exit, but it's Champ who exits better out of turn 3, and it looks also like Jair is close to Grunty Boy, but Grunty Boy is also close to Paceman as Timats gets ahead of Wojtinho, and Wojtinho is now in trouble because Timats will have DRS. Loki Chips loses 2 positions for both Champ and Natik, so down into P6 is the racing point. Maybe it's also time for pit, and Wojtinho and Lupus are both losing positions, so maybe some contact between Wojtinho and Timats in turn 4. So Wojtinho unfortunately spun, and he's now fighting with Gui. They are going side by side into the S's. Gui around the outside, beautiful move on softs, and he gets the 10th position from Wojtinho. Wojtinho unfortunately lost all of his hard work from the quali. Loki Chips comes into the pit lane probably for the set of hards, as Jair takes the 2nd place from Grunty Boy. Also Natik overtakes Champ. And so now will we see a lead change here? I don't think so. Payson is still too far. There is also Otapa overtaking Lupus because the Mercedes driver is coming into the pit lane. Yes, also Wojtinho is retakes his position on Gui, and so now it's the pole who gets this 1 point. Also Jair is now really close to Paceman, so Paceman is probably time to change his tires. But we'll see if he's gonna pit. No, so Paceman stays out for yet another lap, but it looks like Jair is close enough as he opens the DRS and he pulls out to take the outside line on Paceman. And so we've got a lead change, and it's now Jair in the lead. Then Paceman and Grunty Boy still chasing down the Ferrari, so it's only the question of time. When is he gonna overtake him? Now, maybe now, in this DRS rate, as Grunty Boy is definitely faster. Around the outside he goes into turn 4, but Paceman, it looks like he doesn't give up, but now he has to give up this position. Because Grunty Boy is definitely faster, and so Paceman lost 2 positions, lost his lead. Same as Libanov is fighting with Loki Chips, and now Libanov of course with DRS again. Maybe now he takes the inside line, he makes a lunge, but is it gonna be enough? No, but maybe a switchback here. No, Loki Chips defends his position, so he stayed in P8. And so it's now Jair who leads this race, but he has to pit. Grunty Boy doesn't have to do it, so he's still in the virtual lead. Spaceman stays out for yet another lap, so he's probably gonna try to fit the softs for the end of the race. And there is also Natik who has to pit. Champ doesn't need to do it, but he's losing much time to the leading Grunty Boy. Oh, and I don't know, he probably didn't get a touch from behind, but he nearly spun on his own, I think. As Brad is now just behind him, but it's not gonna be enough. Or maybe he makes a lunge, but Jump closes the door, and so Brad stays in P6. Also Libanov finally makes a move on low K chips, and so it's now 4 points for the Toro Rosso. As Gui is also still trying to make a move on Voitinho, but his tires will be dead soon. Jump with a 3-second time penalty another time, so it's not looking good for this Ferrari. And is Jair coming into pits? No, he stays for yet another lap, but he has to fit the mediums, I think, because he was on softs on his first stint. There is also low K chip still trying to stay in the DRS range of Libanov. Same does Gui, as he is fighting for the one single point with Voitinho. But no overtakes here. As Brad still can't quite get past Jump for P5. But low K chips, is he close enough to attack Libanov? He goes down the inside on the Toro Rosso. And so is it gonna be enough? They are still going side by side, but low K chips around the outside, really nice grip out there, and he takes this 8th position from Libanov. But now Libanov still doesn't give up, but now low K chips is definitely ahead, and so it's now P8 for Racing Point. But it's gonna be a really nice fight there till the end of the race. We got also Granty Boy already really close to Jair, so these tires are pretty much used already, as Jair gets a 3-second time penalty, so that's gonna hurt his chances of getting a podium here even more, because he still has to pit, same as Natik. There is also Jump still gaining already on Natik, same as Granty Boy is gaining on Jair. We've got also Libanov overtaking low K chips, so they will be switching these positions because their pace is so similar. And so Granty Boy, is Jair gonna pit already in this lap? I think he should. If he wants to fit the mediums and he wants to make a use of them, he has to pit in this lap. But we will see. And yes, he is. So Jair is pitting, and so that releases Granty Boy into the lead of this race. Paceman still stays out for yet another lap, so he's gonna try to fit the softs and just make a charge. Also Natik is coming into the pits, as Brad is close to Jump, but I don't think he's close enough, because Jump has also got the DRS. And so Granty Boy now with nearly 4 seconds advantage above Paceman. Also Timmats gets a position as Natik is coming out of the pit lane. Gui is making the same thing as his teammate. He goes onto the mediums, and so there is no driver on softs at the moment. We got also a switch another time. It's low K chips overtaking Libanov. They are switching yet another time. And it looks like Voitinho is gonna be able to maybe join this battle if they will be fighting long enough. Natik still trying to close to Timmats. He has got the pressure tires, so it's gonna happen in the nearest future. Also, Brett comes into the pit lane, he fits another set of mediums, and that improves Jair for P4. Also, Natik is gonna overtake the Mercedes, probably. Yes, he is. Timat is also going into the pits. We are still waiting for Pacefan to make his pit stop. I think he's gonna make it in this lap or maybe in 2 laps. As Loki Kiss and Libenov are still fighting, and Loki Chips touches the back of, maybe not the back, but the side of Libenov's car, and unfortunately spins, and he lost also the position for Wojtinho, and so he's now down in P9, unfortunately. But he still gets some points, so it's one of the advantages here. But he was counting for more. Unfortunately, one single mistake and this battle is over. And it looks like Pacefan stays for yet another lap, as his teammate is chasing him. But I think Pacefan is gonna pit in this lap, and he's probably gonna try to make the fastest lap of the race and try to get this one single point. And so that's gonna improve Champ for P2 and Jair for P3. But Granty Boy has got 6 seconds advantage above Pacefan. Meanwhile, let's see how many positions did drivers gain. Jair, of course, a really nice race at the moment. 4 positions up from the start. It was a very nice start for him, and in the race he was just consistent, and he still can gain a podium here. Natik only 1 position down, but if he will be fast enough, he still can gain 1 position here. But he has got the charging Brett behind. Pacefan finally in the pits, so he's fitting softs, and let's see which position can he get in this race. He's gonna get outside of the pit lane in front of Natik? Probably yes. There is Pacefan, as Brett is overtaking Natik, and so Pacefan is gonna lose another 2 positions, and so he's now just behind these 2, and he now has to clean them up. And so Brett in front of Natik, in front of Pacefan, but Pacefan still has a chance, as he has faster tires, to get past both of them. Then we've got, of course, Libenov with a very good result at the moment with P7 and also P8 for Wojtinho, so very good result for Toro Rosso. 10 points at the moment for them. Then, of course, 2 points for Loki Chips, who lost 3 positions, but if not that spin, he would be fighting for P7, as we've got a change here, as Pacefan overtakes Natik. So Pacefan has got much better traction here on these tires, and he will be now chasing down Brett for P4. Granty Boy gets a penalty, same as Spaghetti. We also had Lupus in the pits meanwhile. And so Pacefan with DRS, it's now probably the try to make a fastest lap of the race. Wojtinho in the pits. So probably softs, and he's gonna come out probably ahead of Gui, but maybe Wojtinho is gonna be able to make a fastest lap. He's gonna be battling with Pacefan, who is overtaking Brett for P4. So already 6 seconds only to Jair for Pacefan, so it's not all over yet. He still may get a podium here, and he still has a chance for the fastest lap. Oh, I saw spinning spaghetti. He has got damaged front wing. And so the Wojtinho speed makes Teammates and Otapa in points, as Teammates is chasing the Haas driver. And based on with the fastest lap of the race, Otapa gets a very poor exit out of this S's, and now Teammates around the outside makes a move on the Haas, and he gets this 9th position. Leading the race 7 seconds ahead of Champ, who also had a very good race, but it just wasn't enough. But it's still 8 laps to go, so everything can happen. Then Jair, who can't be sure his position because he still has got pace fan charging him. It's now down into 5.5 seconds. Then Brett and Natik with pretty much similar tires. Then of course Benov and Loke Chips, who are quite safe there, because I don't think that Teammates is gonna be able to overtake them. Omar Spaghetti with another time penalty. Also Lupus is trying to make a move on the Edzax. It's the only battle on track currently, and Lupus on much faster tire. He's on soft, so he's probably gonna try to beat the pace fence time and to get the fastest lap of the race, as he overtakes the Red Bull of Edzax. Very poor effort for the Red Bull in this race. Vilzu didn't come, as Edzax is down in the penultimate position, as Omar Spaghetti comes into the pit lane again. Which stop is it? Oh, it's stop number 3 for Williams. Yes, and so it's quite boring now, so not much things to commentate, to be honest. So we will just look at Otapa going in P10 for the one single point, but Wojtinho is only 7 seconds behind, but he has to go a second lap faster than the Haas, and he's gonna be able then to get past him. So maybe I'm gonna check the penalties. 2 penalties for Granty Boy, 3 penalties for Champ, 1 penalty for Jair, no penalties for Pacefan. Oh, 4 penalties for Brett, and for Natik no penalties currently. And so we are back on track, and nothing changed, to be honest. Still 7 laps to go. As Granty Boy is going in the stadium section to start the lap number 31. Also Pacefan is still closing on Jair. Jair has got the penalty, Pacefan doesn't have one, so it may affect on Jair losing his podium position, and it will promote both Ferraris onto the podium. So it will be a very good amount of points for them, and as Red Bull is struggling and Edzax is outside of the points, it may affect on Ferrari getting away in the constructor standings, as Brett gets a 3-second time penalty, and so Ferrari may get away, and from 8 points it may be 28 points, quick maths, more 28 points more as they will be heading into Japan with 2 races to go, so it will be even more difficult for the Milton Keynes team to jump ahead of the Maranello team. So Ferrari will be back on top, same as Pacevan is of course gonna make his advantage bigger in his go to the crown of the F2. As he's now only 2.5 seconds behind Jair, so he's in the range which will give him the podium position. Also Voitini is still closing on Otapa. It's still 5 laps to go, so I think that he's gonna overtake the Haas. As Pacevan is also down, it's less than 2 seconds already on Jair. So yes, this strategy maybe not the best, but it worked because Pacevan may be on the podium, but the best strategy probably for Granty Boy, as he made an undercut on Champ and he was able to get away from him on 7.5 seconds, and so it looks like Granty Boy is going for an deserved victory here, pole position and race victory. Really nice result for him, but second place will probably belong to Champ, but we are still not sure what is gonna happen with the third place. Still 4 laps to go, as Voitini is also quite close to Otapa already. Since also yellow flag sector 2, is it Spaghetti? Yes it is. Again in the S's, and again damaged front wing, and he retires. So second driver to retire after Adi retiring at the opening stages of the race, and so the car of Omar Spaghetti parks here in the stadium section, and he can get out of his car. Also Voitini is now in the DRS range of Otapa, so in the next lap we probably will see Voitini going up into the points. So 7 points for Toro Rosso, quite a nice result for them. Of course Alfa will score 1 more point, as Natik is currently going in P6. But Voitini, after a very good quali, unfortunately race wasn't that good, and he's now going in P11, but now he opens the DRS, and let's see if he will be able to overtake Otapa already on this straight. Yes he is. He takes the inside line and he is in the points. So 7 points now for Toro Rosso, and Jair gets another 3-second time penalty, and that means that Pacevan is gonna for sure be on the podium. If you want to do any mistakes, still 2 laps to go. Also Gui gets a 3-second time penalty, but the question is if Pacevan will be able to get past the Williams. But he doesn't need to do it, but we will see. The fastest lap belongs to him, so 16 points for him and for the Ferrari. So nice race for the red team, even though and they won't score the victory. It's still gonna be one more lap for Pacefan, but I think he's gonna be too far from Jair, as Granty Boy is now going through the stadium section to start the last lap of the Mexican Grand Prix here in Ero Season 3, Race 16, and it's gonna be probably another win. Oh! What happened there for Pacefan? Unfortunately, he spun probably on the curb or something, and he hit the wall, and that's the end of the race for the Ferrari driver. So he's not gonna score any points here. Lupus comes into the pit lane, and he also retires. So that's disaster for Pacefan, as he was going for the podium, to be honest. And this situation means that Jair will get the podium, and Pacefan won't increase his advantage in the driver standings. Oh wow, that's gonna affect on the championship race, as we have got still 2 more races to go, and if Wilzu will be back next week, it's gonna be even harder for Pacefan to fight for these important points. But Granty Boy, very good race for him. He crosses the line to take this Mexican Grand Prix victory. Behind him, Champ is gonna come home in 2nd place. He was just a little bit worse than the Renault, and Jair comes home to take the 3rd place, and he's gonna probably stay there. If there was Pacefan would have take this podium position for him, but there isn't the Ferrari driver, and it's Brett in P5 and also Natik, who jumps ahead of him. So Natik in P4. Now we are waiting for Libenov, who will score 8 points for Toro Rosso. 6th position, very nice job for him. Then Low-K Chips, who also can be happy, P7 for him, or even P6 because of Libenov's penalties. Then Timats in P8, and Wojtinho, after Pacefan's mistake, comes home to take 9th position, and Otapa in 10th, and we are still waiting for Gui as he's coming through the stadium section. Beautiful confetti all around the stadium. And now two last corners of this Grand Prix, and that's the end of this race. Penultimate lap of this race, and the championship fight will go on to Japan, as Granty Boy wins for Renault here in Mexico, 2nd place for Champ, and 3rd place for Jair. And so that's the end of the Mexican Grand Prix. Thank you for joining us, and see you next week here in Ero F2, and also next week, next week, tomorrow there is also an F1 race. We are racing in USA, and I'm also in, so you can see it. Wojciech is commentating as every week. And so here are your official standings. Granty Boy, of course, wins the Mexican Grand Prix, then Champ, Jair, Natik in P4, Brett P5, Low-K Chips P6, Libenov 7th, Timats, Wojtinho and Otapa closing the top 10. The last 1 point for Haas, and then we've got Gui, Edzax, Pacefan, Lupus, Spaghetti and Adi outside the points. So yes, pretty good race, and a little bit of drama at the end. So that is gonna be all for today, and thank you for joining us again, and see you next week.